Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I returned from Tennessee with a little bit of a cold. Good morning, Carolyn and Daryl. I knew you would be there. Daryl is going to be receiving something very special in the USPS mail. That's all I'll say about that. Good morning, Felix. Oh, it's so good to hear from you. Felix is writing to me from Bergen, Norway. Can you imagine? And since he has been following me, Felix, tell me how old you are now, if you don't mind. Marielle from, I want to say France. I was just talking about Felix. Felix has been following 14. Oh my gosh. Felix was in one of my videos. Now, I know Cheryl Williams. I'm going to give her a shout out because she has been binge watching me for weeks. And so is Carolyn. Carolyn's been through all of my videos. Daryl's still trying to get through all 500, I think. But anyway, Felix was in one of my videos. How long ago was that, Felix? Were you like about 7 or 8, right? I can't even remember, but I did a series with kids. There was a young girl in Berlin. Her mother's a big fan, and I had a clip with Alexandra, and then I had a clip with Felix. Maybe that was in a separate video. Yeah. And Felix is growing a garden and has become quite a photographer and has grown up really into a big teenager since he's been following me. And it's so exciting to follow him on Instagram and see all of his lovely images. Good morning, Eric. I hope I pronounced that right. I want to talk about Eric and corn when we get through all of the normal business. So Eric, stay with me if you can. He wrote me this week and told me as a response to my live stream, which I did last, I want to say, what day was that? Monday. Yeah, it was Monday. Justine, that's fantastic. You mean this is the first, Justine, this is the first time you found my live stream because you've been following me. I know you, right? 2017, it's only 2 years ago. Wow. Amal is here from Saudi. I'm assuming that's Saudi Arabia. That's the only Saudi I know. And Effie, good, Indonesia. Fantastic. Thank you for joining me. Did you find me through my loofah video? Good morning, William. Nancy O. Thank you, Nancy. Please check out Nancy's comment. That's so lovely. And to start, Orlando Green Girl, good morning. Okay, I think I've said good morning to everyone who's on so far. And Marielle is writing me. You've got to be writing me from France, right? Faithful Flowers, good morning. And yes. Okay, everybody. I am wearing my late bloomer. And for those of you who have ordered Felix, you have to get you have to order a late bloomer t-shirt. I want you to save up your allowance and order one if you haven't already. I want you wearing that all around Bergen, Norway. And I want people asking you, what is this good-looking young teenager doing growing vegetables? And what is Late Bloomer Show? Queen Bee, good morning. Jim, Alice. Good morning, Alice. Thank you for finding me recently. I am so happy. It's 6 p.m. in Saudi Arabia. That's just an interesting note for all of you people who never think about what time it is over in the Middle East. Edwin, good morning. My cold is a little bit better. Thank you. Mernita Burnett, good morning. Effie says, is Effie a female or male? I'm not sure. Effie says they learned gardening from me. That's fantastic because we learned together. I didn't know anything. Daryl, on the other hand, has been growing his own organic food for decades. Good morning, Beth. Brian, good morning. Queen Bee, Amal. Stephen, good morning. Female, wonderful. Okay, I just wanted to do some of my usual business before we get going. I do want to talk about the transition. And so I want everybody to be thinking about that. Getting a little bug off my monitor. The oil for today, I am a distributor for Young Living, and if you would like to join my Young Living team, I'm going to be spending a lot more time on that this winter. Today is joy, and I am full of joy, and for the main reason, and this is bergamot and orange and lang lang, which is very sweet, geranium, lemon, coriander, tangerine, jasmine. It has so many wonderful. I haven't even used it yet, and I'm going to do it right now because I am full of joy. It is Sunday morning and a beautiful day in Los Angeles. The sun is rising about, well, the sun has risen, and it is, if I can, for some reason, I'm opening on the weather in Boston. I don't know why. It is right now, it says it's 66 degrees. I think it's more like 69, and in the sun, it feels warmer than that. 44 years, Daryl. Thank you for correcting me. Well, decades. No, I said decades. Good morning. Felix is going to get a T-shirt. Deep South with Mr. Deep South, Alabama, Bama with Mr. Tom. Good morning, Mr. Tom. And Felix, that's fantastic. Fe, Felicia Alodina. I hope I pronounced that right. It's 2203. Okay, 2203. What is 2203? It's 10 hours after noon, so it's 10 p.m., right? Okay. Good morning, Hallie. Good morning, little Luna, writing from Spain, right? Vinicius Bobson. Woo. Woo. I want to give a shout out to Vinicius Bobson. Please check out that comment, everybody. I am assuming Vinicius is a male name. I'm not sure. I've never heard that. It's a beautiful name. Watched all of my videos from the beginning. That's 7 years. Mwah. And this is the first live stream they've tuned in. So we want to get back to you, Vinicius, and you tell us about your garden. Amal. Amal, I want to do that. Can you remind me in about 5 minutes to get back to that? That's fantastic. Faithful Flowers, can you please remind me your name? Only because I just look at Faithful Flowers and that's how I think of you. Mernita in Buffalo. You're in Buffalo, New York? Yeah, fantastic. Jack is here, my young meteorologist in Maryland. He has been tracking Dorian. What are we calling Dorian? A hurricane, right? The massive storm off the East Coast. And I just wanted to give a shout out to somebody who has really reached out to me a lot this year with their support. And I've only to learn that in the last day or two that I very greedily accepted that support, emotional support, and readings and so forth, and didn't even realize she was suffering as well. And she just lived through last night 100-mile-an-hour winds in her house, which is being an old house, which is being gutted. She hunkered down in the house with her dogs, and her husband's in the hospital. He's a retired U.S. Army vet, and I would just want to send a lot of love to Prince George's Island, to my friend Jen. Ooh, Beth. Beth is in San Diego, right? If I have that right. And I forget where Queen Bee is. Let's see. Yes, and Mernita wants to know about my plants. I'm going to get that. Marielle, do you have a Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Marielle. It is Post Office Box 1602. You can find this on my website. Pacific Palisades, California 90272. And Mernita, in terms of my music on my channel, I have a contract with Epidemic Sound Library. They're actually out of Sweden and Norway. All those artists that create all of that music, whether it's country music or bluegrass or Western cowboy music, whatever I've used, that's all made by a handful. Well, I guess there are a lot now of artists in it's either Sweden or Norway or up in there, up in there, up in those countries, and many YouTube creators use that sound library, and so I don't have access to that music outside of using them in my YouTube videos because I have a contract. And you will see that in every description below my videos, it says music by Epidemic Sound. When I very first started, because I loved some of these sounds, the songs were so beautiful. And I gave credit to the specific artists, but that's just impossible. I make too many videos now. Edwin is tuning in. Now, Edwin is a huge fan, one of my newer fans from this year, really. And he just was traveling in England, you may remember, and wound up having to have hip surgery in England. Fortunately, he was able to pay for a private hospital and not wait 4 years for the National Healthcare Service to get around to fixing his hip. And he's on the mend and going to be heading back to the US pretty soon. Good morning, Johnny. Good morning, Sandy from Mexico. No, wait, who's in Mexico? Did I miss somebody in Mexico? I don't usually get people tuning in from Mexico. So you're either saying hello, hello to Mexico, or you're in Mexico. We have a moderator. Jack Rudden is moderating. I don't know if there's anyone else. Oh, okay. Thank you, Felix. Thank you for tuning in. I came so close to Felix when I visited Northern Germany, and I wanted so desperately to go up there, but it just didn't work out. Queen Bee, I have a cat, and she has been featured in little segments many, many times. Let's see. Thank you, Ed. Johnny. Felicia, yes, it is 10 p.m. It's pronounced Felicia. Felicia. Ala Odina. Ala Odina. Thank you. Thank you. I tried to make things colorful today. Good morning from Miami, Wendy. Thank you. Username. What did I say? Jack Redden. How could you pronounce that differently? Vinicius. I know, it's incredible. Listen to Ed, everybody. Thank you, Queen Bee, for tuning in. I know you've commented a few times. No, Remind TV. I haven't done that, except I have made my skin balm, and you can see my calendula and Sweet Annie skin balm video if you go to my videos on my homepage and just type that in. You will find that video. I've done that one thing, and I use it. I use it all over. Oh, Johnny. Oh, so Johnny, you were in the hurricane path also? Rudin. Oh, no, no, no. Rudin. Come on. It's two D's. It's got to be a short U. Um, Anybody who had a very, very good English teacher in high school would know that, Jack. And I did. Oh my God, Miss Agnes Fry. I think she was 90 when I was in high school, and she lived another 20 years. Mm. Thank you, Remind TV. I've been taking care of my skin since I lived in Colorado in my early 20s, and when you're in a ski area, that reflection from that snow and everything is so intense upon your skin, and you really, really have to take care of your skin. And I just don't get out in the sun. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Denise. Okay, this is the oil for today, Joy. I am full of joy today, and I'll tell you the reason why, because I have so many wonderful friends as a result of this channel. And I could not have gotten through the last year without all of you. The highlight of my week is making a video and then seeing the reaction and getting a response from all of you. So that is the highlight of my week. So make sure that you share that. Now, in addition, yesterday Eric was here and we had a major work day. And if I've not gotten to anyone's questions, just please remind me after I get through this beginning stuff. I wanted to share the fact, once again, I'm mentioning my Young Living products because this is the first year that we are carrying CBD. The CBD products from Young Living are all made from hemp, and hemp is legal in all 50 states. And this I just used this morning on my hip because I had a monster day yesterday with Eric in the garden. And in addition to a cold that I brought back from Tennessee, and thank you, a lot of people have been writing me and telling me how to take care of my cold. I appreciate that. And so I just used that on my hip, and it's already feeling better. Good morning, Jason. And good morning to you, and remind everyone where you are. And I appreciate, Felicia, I appreciate any college student who is taking the time to tune in to what I have to say or tuning in to join my community. And I can't tell you what that means to me to be inspiring young people. It's one thing to inspire hey everybody, I happened to check my analytics with Steve at Deadly Wound. Where is Steve? He must be sleeping in. No. Anyway, and it was so interesting. And I know it's driven a lot by my loofah video because that's getting a lot of sharing by YouTube. And of course, the number one age group on YouTube is like 25 to 35. And so that was like so much more than all of my others. And I also checked the analytics for who's watching. In addition to gender, it is about 66% female and 33% male, which I'm very impressed. And I'm impressed by that high number of males. And in addition, of course, the majority of people are from the US, but who can guess the second most country that is watching my channel? And I haven't seen anyone tuning in just yet from there, but anybody got a great guess? Son of a gun, good morning in Phoenix. I'm waiting for somebody to give me a guess. Good morning, Lisa. Big wave. No, not England. Not England. England is quite a bit down from there. But England is so it goes US, and then there almost 50% of the US is another country, and then Great Britain and Canada and all of the English-speaking countries. Colombia. No, not Colombia. And not Saudi Arabia or Japan or Australia or Norway. Nope. Only Remind TV only when you tell me. And the fact is, I think this is the first time you've tuned in to a live stream. And so almost all of these people tune in every week, and I remember. And very often I will say this, and very often they will do this, is good morning from Georgia. Good morning from Trinidad and Tobago. I happen to know I have 2 people from Trinidad and Tobago that tune in. And so not Russia. No. No, it has to be a country that actually speaks English. Yeah, where the majority of people do have English. Okay, nobody guessed it. India. Yes. Isn't that impressed? I'm so impressed. India. No, Ireland, there's just not enough people in Ireland. I mean, just imagine. No, no. Ireland is like this big and India is like this big with a billion more people. Oh, Jack, you should have spoken up. You're a smart young man. Uh, India is not Indonesia. No. Russia, no, no. I think I've had one person tune in from Russia. Oh, Felicia, tell me again where you're located. Yes, um, uh, Bombay, no, not Bombay. Mumbai balcony gardener. You threw me off for a second there. It's Mumbai balcony gardener, and she is fantastic. And I really don't know how she does what she does. Well, I do know she has the total emotional and physical support of her husband and daughters. And when you have a partner, I've said this before, when you have a supportive partner, there is just no limit to what you can accomplish. I mean, they say behind every great man is a great woman, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. Um, India does love their plants and pretty, really. Oh, you okay? So Felicia is trying to go to college so that she can get a good enough paying job so that she can buy her mother a house and the two of them can grow a garden. So everybody send positive thoughts to Felicia to get good grades, and you will get that job and have that future for yourself and your mother. And speaking of mothers, hold on, Kevin. I do. Just hang on a second. Speaking of mothers, I was with my mother on Sunday and we celebrated a milestone birthday for her early. Her birthday is not till the 12th, but I had a high school reunion and we had a 60s rock band and it was so much fun to just kind of forget everything and just hear those songs, the Fleetwood Mac and all. Oh, they were very good and we had a lot of fun. Uh, okay, so let's see. I think there was a couple of other things I wanted to just show you. Remember all the trouble I had with my tomatoes? You'll see this in a video, but I just thought I would show you this. These are the majority of these are the black vernissage. When I was at the National Heirloom Expo in Santa Rosa in 2017, Baker Creek, who is the sponsor for that, who originated it, and who's the sponsor for that whole expo, was giving out free black vernissage tomato seeds. And I got a little packet and I planted some the beginning of 2018. And so these are volunteers. These came from volunteers from those plants. I didn't seed anything this year because of my situation. Uh, Absolutely, Felicia. I want to support young people. Um, need some seeds. Mernita needs some seeds. You got to be more specific. Oh no. Ed needs a remedy for Daryl. What do you suggest? I mean, aloe comes to mind, but I doubt you can get fresh aloe in England. Edwin needs a remedy for his skin, which is erupting into large red blotches, and it's itching. And he's in England. So I think, shoot, does anybody have a suggestion? Mm. And the other harvest, passion fruit. Yes. Um, and in case you don't know what passion fruit juice looks like, it looks like that. Sort of like orange juice, but a little more peachy rather than orange. And the way you make it, I happen to have a video. Denora, who has worked for me one day a week for 15 years. I don't know. I can't remember now. She's from El Salvador, and she showed me how to make it or how she makes it. Mm. It is so unusual and different and delicious. Queen Bee needs some heirloom tomato seeds. Can anybody help her out? Good morning, Senier. Aren't you in where tell me where you are again? Um, oh no, oh no. Jack is going, and um I don't have any other moderators, so I am making Carolyn, one of my new biggest fans, Carolyn Hoover, a moderator. And what that means, Carolyn, is that you will keep an eye on the chat window, and if you see anything untoward, anything offensive, anything where someone is misdirecting, trying to get off the subjects that we're talking about in a less than desirable way, you hide them, hide the user right away. Jack. Can you get coconut oil, Ed? I don't know if coconut oil would help with the skin itching. Rub oatmeal. You mean cooked oatmeal, Mario? That oatmeal is that's true, Ed. Oatmeal is very good because you see all these skin preparations in the pharmacy that have oatmeal in them, and they're supposed to be very soothing. But I don't know. I think you mean rub real oatmeal, like cooked oatmeal, not the oats themselves, because that would be abrasive. Well, Lynn, yes, he knows that, but he just got out of the hospital having hip surgery in England. Okay, so he's had a number of antibiotics and other things, and so while he's detoxing from all of that, he needs some help with this itching skin. Aveeno products. No, M Pretty. He just got out of the hospital, hip surgery, and had a lot of medications and stuff. So I'm sure it's just the body is sloughing that off. Good morning, Lori. Did I say good morning already? Okay. Carolyn, when you next comment you make, Carolyn, I'm assuming that he is detoxing from his hospital stay, which was at least 2 weeks. Oh, I just saw your comment, Kevin, at Big Wave, Florida. Peppermint oil may help. The peppermint oil that Young Living carries is an extremely hot oil, and it would not want to put that on any type of irritated skin. Now, if you had some other skin balm and you had a drop of peppermint oil, yes, but I wouldn't put it directly on. Good morning, Eddie in Tucson. Azalea. Well, I certainly hope that's not the case. Back to my plans, right? The only plan that I have is, if you've watched all of my videos, you watched my very first growing tomatoes video, which I made in 2012. And in the fall of 2012. And I went through start to finish how I grew tomatoes. I didn't do any pruning. I didn't know what I was doing. I planted vines too close together. They were out of control. And a neighbor walked by and with his dog, I forget the dog's name. The dog passed away a year or two ago. And he he dog was replaced with a lovely she dog, and so he happened to walk by when I was, when my tomato big plants were big and everything. His name's Jim, and he said that he was growing tomato plants in his garden. Literally, I think it's 2 blocks from here, approximately 2 to 3 blocks from me. Yeah, 3 blocks from me. And so I went over there and I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to put you in the video." So I did. So I interviewed him in the video. I showed his plants and everything like that. So as it turns out, I followed along because his if you watched my um, quinoa and okay, everybody got to follow me here. The quinoa and avocado and plum salad video. I made a bunch of plum videos because I had such a great harvest. And that recipe was from my friend Valentina, who I strongly recommend if you love food blogs. And Valentina has a lovely blog. And we connected when I first started in 2012. And she lives here, obviously. And so I used her video. I used her recipe in that video. And when I sent her an email, we just reconnected. I sent her an email and I said, "I've done this video. I mentioned you, gave you a shout out, and so forth." And so we just reconnected. And I was aware that since 2012, his wife, Jim's wife at the time, had Parkinson's, and she has since passed away. And he actually had, I can't remember if it was, he had some health problems too, and he's not doing a garden anymore. And so I asked Valentina he has a lovely house and property over there. His wife was her mother, his wife was a interior designer. And she had collected all this fabulous, oh my gosh, fabulous stuff and incorporated it into their house and their property. It's like an English cottage with a shaker roof. It's just fabulous. But he had been growing tomatoes off to the right side in the back, which gets pretty good sun. And so I just, I asked her about it, how he would feel about me gardening over there and shooting videos. And because he's alone now, just him and the dog. And so I talked to him and I went over there and we talked, and he's totally open to it. So that is going to be my transitional garden until I find or create my own next late bloomer garden. So that's the plan. Nothing has progressed. I haven't done anything yet. I don't plan to move anything until I have to. And that is not going to be for at least 2 or 3 months. So that's the plan. Ed, are you seeing Lori's comment? Drink plenty of water with juice half of lemon. If you can get fresh lemon in England, you need to get back to Arizona is what you need to do, Ed, because that dry heat is going to help. Oh, he's so sweet. Listen to what he's saying. Celery juice. Yeah. Celery juice is fantastic, but I don't know that he can get his hands on that in this little village he's staying in England. Hmm. Hmm. Aloe vera is growing like a weed in Remington's garden in North Carolina. Okay. So those are my plans, everybody. And hey, Trudy. Trudy just watched I hope everybody has watched my Big Sur series, which is complete. And I need a lot more views on that series to get YouTube to start sharing that. And if you enjoy my travel videos, which I've done so many, please share them and talk me up to your friends and your social media connections. Thank you, Kevin. I hope it works out. Let's see. Mm. Probiotics would be very good at it. If and when you get to the pharmacy, um, try to get yourself a probiotic, because what happens when you're in the hospital, or when you're sick, is your healthy bacteria leave your gut, and so your body is just trying to fight off all this stuff, and your kidneys are working overtime to try to get rid of toxins and everything. So if you take a good probiotic, and usually that means a raw one that's fresh and in the refrigerated case, um, then it can really help you get back on track. And you really should do that, Ed, before you get on an airplane and make that big trip back to the West Coast. That's an idea, Remind TV. What is your name, Remind TV? And do you have a garden? And where are you writing from again? Ah, Jason is saying because this is what I do every single morning and sometimes at night, especially during this cold, apple cider vinegar in water. And take a tablespoon in 8 ounces of water. And you want the apple cider vinegar that has the mother. And I don't know if anybody knows why the filtered, the unfiltered contents that drop to the bottom of the bottle in apple cider vinegar. I don't know why that's called mother. Maybe it's just something simple like mother's taking care of you. But that can really help. And Jason said it helps for eczema. I haven't done it for that reason. Yes, I was going to say, Trudy, in my video, my last video, I was hugging a redwood tree that was, I mean, I can't even imagine the circumference of that tree. And she sent me a picture on Facebook of her hugging a tree in where were you? Let's see, Hawaii. No, wait, where were you? Hawaii, right? Good morning, Christina. Thank you for tuning in. You know, Kevin is in Florida, so he seed tomatoes in September for fall harvest. That's, but that's Florida. Mm. I agree about the raw milk. I've only consumed raw dairy since 2000. Um, Thank you, Beth. Brahms apple cider vinegar should be available in the UK, Jason says, Ed. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Carolyn. Was it my story? Kauai. Yeah, I knew that. I know fermented PF. PF, remind me where you're writing from? Ooh, sauerkraut might be hard for him to get his hands on over there. Thank you, Christina. Christina is stating the obvious. Teresa, it's 8:36, everyone. I'm just going till 9 o'clock. I have been informed by some people that tune in that 1 hour is plenty of me carrying on. Ooh, it does sound like that, Daryl. Um, so everyone, I wanted to talk about transitioning because I noticed yesterday on, um, I follow Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they're building a big, let's see, what is he calling that? It's an educational, it's not big, it's slightly smaller than their small cabin, but it's going to be an educational center. Excuse me, still dealing with the cold. And beside their cabin, they're building this. And he was talking about he hadn't been on every day with videos because they are, quote, laser focused, unquote, on getting this thing winter ready, because winter is coming, and to Missouri. And I thought, wow, oh, right. we're just now getting hot weather here. Just in the last half of, I mean, it was 66 this morning, so it's, it's still not hot, but we've had more hot days in the last 4 weeks than June, July, and most of August. So I'm not really thinking about transitioning to fall or winter, but I've got to think about that. I've got to be, I know that a lot of people follow my channel because I garden all year. I'm always planting something, I'm starting something new, always going, always, always, always. And when a lot of people are hunkered down under snow, like my friend Tracy, she can't tune in on Sunday mornings because she's at church. I respect that. And But Tracy in Pennsylvania uh, is, the whole winter she's just planning and preparing for the big summer garden and farm. And so, well, she has a farm, so she's always doing something. She has animals and all that, cows and hogs and chickens and all of that. But so there's always something to do when you have animals. And So now I've got to kind of think more like transition, because from I don't know if I don't think I made it clear, but when I went over to see Jim's place where he grew tomatoes, I mean the entire growing area is probably 1/6 of what I have here. And in addition to that, the neighbor next door has ficus trees, which is a rubber tree, and you never want to, never, ever, ever want to plant ficus. I don't recommend it. The roots have, um, that was kind of indifferent to be. Sorry, I love you, all of you, but um, the uh, the roots have come from the dividing line on the property down and invaded all of the ground, and it would take a major excavation, of which I would have to pay for and can't pay for, to be able to grow in ground there. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to have a container garden there. And so I'm thinking of it as a transitional garden. And what can you see that? I don't even know what that was. Okay. It's big and black. I thought maybe it was a fig beetle. As you will see, I shot, I got my camera out because yesterday Eric was here, and I got my camera out and I started filming, and I filmed like 3 videos in one, one day. There's going to be a video of the workday. There's going to be a video of using my pine tree as a trellis. There's going to be a video about, which is going to, and I'm going to be talking about dragon fruit, cactus, and loofah. And there's going to be a video about the surprises, the garden surprises, which keep gardening so interesting for me. That usually means volunteers, but you'll see all of the surprises that happened during the day. I'm going to put that in a separate video. So I have a lot of editing to do. And what's happening today, now I've told anybody who's close to me that if you want to visit this, I mean, I think it's pretty fantastic, this little garden. Um, I mean, it's my garden is fantastic because it's so loved, and because of the diversity, and there's so many plants. I mean, things are constantly changing, going and coming, but some things remain the same. A lot of the perennials remain the same from season to season, year to year. And um, the perennials is what gives a front yard garden its character, because, like I said, the annuals come and go. And you will see that the corn, the I will be reporting on in one of those videos the results of the corn in the driveway and the squash. And speaking of squash, I have a question for you guys. I know I'm behind on my comments. Okay, so this was one of my little pumpkins that was growing in the Three Sisters bed, um, grouping of pots, and it slipped out of my hand and it cracked. You see, Daryl, if you've been gardening for 44 years, you know the answer to this. What do I just throw this away? Because I mean, you can see into the center, and it did not have time to cure. Now, this is totally squishy, so it literally almost fell off. I think it did fall. I think that's why I dropped it. And of course, I dropped it on the concrete driveway. If it had fallen on the ground, it wouldn't have broken. But let me know if anybody knows the answer to that. I am way behind in comments. Let's see. Cut it up and eat it? You mean cut it up and cook it and eat it? Well, okay, how do you know it's ripe, Daryl? Look, part of it's still green, and this is all squishy, like rotted. I'm not sure it's worth saving the seeds, Mernita, to tell you the truth. I have okay, Eric. Oh, Eric, thank you. Let's see. I know, but I know. I didn't even realize that happened until the end of the day. You'll see my reaction at the end of the video. I went, "Oh no, no." I only had 3 little ones. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you need to Trudy, you need to talk more about that. She's growing citrus figs, kiwi, and banana indoors this winter. Well, you're obviously you just bring these are kind of dormant. These are all dormant in the winter, right? You're just keeping them alive, is what I'm assuming you mean. Ed, I don't know if you see Mr. Tom's comment. uh, let's see. Beth, it didn't, carpenter bee's more rounded, and it didn't seem, it didn't, this one seemed to be a little bit more elongated, but I guess it must be. You would be screeching and pretty if what? Yeah, right, right. Kevin is confirming what I said about ficus. Very, very, very invasive tree. It will break a concrete sidewalk in half. It will it will it will tear up an asphalt street. I mean, if you watched my from then till now video, I spent a lot of time on that, so I hope you'll go back and look at that, especially if you're newer to my channel, because you would be able to see how this whole thing developed. It was blank. It was a blank canvas. And but in order to get it to be a blank canvas, I had to take out the about 4 ficus trees that I made the mistake of buying. Because when you first move here, you don't know. It's my first house. I don't know. I see all these ficus trees everywhere. I'm thinking, okay, you go to the nursery and they sell you a ficus tree. You come home and then you regret it every single day until you get it out. Good morning, Penny. Well, Penny is first time joining. Everybody say hello to Penny Peters. And I just want to say, Penny, the way it works is you follow along. Most of these people are regulars. We all talk about a various number of things. I've already talked about most of what I had to talk about. Ooh, Lori, that sounds fantastic. Fede from Italy. Good morning or good afternoon or evening there. Learning Center. Yes. Yes, NC Callie Gardner and family. I will be. I don't know exactly when. The details are not ironed out. I am still Uh, Overwhelmed from all of that. England. Remind TV's in England. Okay. I think I'm caught up. Penny. And there's a little dollar sign at the bottom, everybody. And if you want to do a little bit of extra support, you can hit that dollar sign, which is the super chat, and make a donation to this channel. When you do that, YouTube goes, oh, this live stream, people are supporting this live stream. Let's share this. And when you see all your recommended videos on the right side, when you're looking at YouTube, they're more likely to share one of my videos over there if they've seen your support. They have analytics that analyzes every single video that you watch, mine or anybody else's. And all of that information, fortunately or unfortunately, is shared with advertisers. And so you could go on Google and you could say, well, I need to buy a new pair of house shoes. And you could just be looking at house shoes or something, anything, garden clippers. And then the very next place you go, the very next website you go, there will be pictures of gardens, house shoes or garden slippers there. They're tracking all of that. So we might as well use it to our advantage because we have no say in that. That's the way it works. So if you share my videos, they know. If you hit the like button, they know. They track all of that. They track your age, your gender, where you're watching from, what device you're watching on. Did you know most people watch my channel on mobile? A mobile phone? It's incredible. So anyway, let's see, where were we? I think I was answering. Oh, yes. So hit the like button, hit the super chat, make a donation. And in the description, I talk about how to order the t-shirts. The second campaign of my Late Bloomers t-shirts has launched. And I've already got 4 orders. And I want to give a shout out. I mean, there were 50 people that ordered, or 50 shirts sold in the first campaign. And I want to thank everybody for that. And the second campaign has launched. The first campaign t-shirts are being printed and being shipped out soon. And Stephanie K, Agneskia O, Gina Maynard, and Christine R all have bought a t-shirt in the second campaign. So thank you so much. And all of those links are right in the description of this video. So check it out. Vinicius. Oh, thank you, Vinicius. Uh, that is a great introduction video to my channel. Let's see. Good going, Beth. Much better. Hey, Maddie O from Iceland. Good morning. That's true, Travis. It's a rubber tree, so they're indestructible and they produce deep shade and they don't require a lot of water. But they can, just like I got so much flack by so many people for taking out that huge wisteria vine in the back when I planted loofah. I didn't take out the vine to plant loofah. I took out the vine because it was moving the garage wall 3 inches. It had already pushed it in. And, you know, when that garage goes, replacing that garage is going to be a whole different ballgame for whoever winds up living here. Because that garage is a grandfathered garage that is 2 feet, maybe not even 2 feet from the property line. And you can't do that anymore. And well, it's just going to be a whole different ballgame. I mean, there is a possibility that they could just completely tear down this whole property, which is unthinkable. But anyway, let's see. Benicius, thank you so much. Alicia says, okay, I understand. You're in Indonesia, so it's, but good morning, Debbie, Tillis, Taylor, and Teresa. I don't know if I said good morning to you. Uh, yes, so do I, Christina. Vinicius, I really appreciate that. And I would encourage every single one of you, if you have a friend or if you have friends over, please show them while you're cooking dinner or whatever, your party, or come over for, even if people come over to watch a ball game or whatever, say, I just want to show you guys this first because look what this woman did with this small yard and look how many people she's inspired. Whatever, say whatever you want, but that's a great way to get more people tuning into my channel. And I need a big push this September, October, November, and December to achieve my goal. And I would really appreciate that. Nancy, oh, thank you. I'm sorry, everybody. I've got, hold on. Somehow I've gotten through this whole year without a cold. Not somehow. I've used the ACV every morning. And that's helped me. But when I went to Tennessee, my brother had a cold. My niece's husband had a cold. And then there were a million children, not a million, but there were several children. So it was inevitable. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Hey, Eric, Double Dog Farm is here. That's fantastic. Good morning, Emily. Charlie Baby is here. Trudy, thank you. I take it that you're a hairstylist. And I really appreciate that. Getting back to the transition. I don't have a real plan for my transition yet. And I talk about this a little bit in my video yesterday. There are some things that are not going to be survivable. Sorry, you've got a big noisy plane up there moving. And of course, I hope I have the timing right for the annuals. I have this one watermelon plant, and it looks really healthy, and it's on this superstructure that I made with that sort of aluminum rebar. Oh, Mr. Tom, thank you so much. I thank you for your donation. I only have one watermelon on there, and it's hanging. It's that big, and I put it in a. Let me show you. I put it in a, those cloth, the string bags that when you can go to the farmer's market and you put, like they do this in France all the time, or Italy. They have a little string bag and they put their fresh produce in that. So I happen to have one of those because I don't have any like nylon hose or something. Somebody said put it in a nylon hose and let it suspend. So I put it in this string bag. You see, this is the healthiest watermelon plant I've ever had. The leaves are quite healthy. And then I've got this is my my only melon. Anyway, I was saying that I'm hoping that the timing is right for the annuals. Hey, real man. Let's see. That's wonderful, Felicia. What did you say? Oh, thank you. So Felicia makes a good point. If you can't afford to support my channel financially, she just, oh, somebody gave me $5. Thank you. Uh, let's see. Yes, real man. I don't know where and I don't know when, but yes, it looks pretty inevitable. And I've been alluding to this all year. Um, anyway, Felicia was saying that she supports me by not skipping the ads. Now, I'm sorry, but Google does take advantage of viewers because if there's an ad break inside a video, which I never wanted to do that. But if there's an ad break inside a video, then they'll throw in like 4 2-minute ads, which is, I mean, you forget what you've even been watching. I didn't even want to put one in my last um, Big Sur video because I just wanted you to get swept away with the beauty and the music and of that drive home. Somebody said that let's see, it was Johnny. Is Johnny on? Where's Johnny today? Johnny Mazzati. Johnny was saying he missed having me talking in that video. And I said, well, first of all, I came back with a cold, so I wouldn't have sounded quite very good. And, but I thought, the images really say it all. But I just felt like a narration would be superfluous. Here I am at a beautiful beach. Take a look at it. No, just get swept up in the beauty of the beach with the pictures. Oh, there's another live chat. A super chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Um, and so hopefully you'll share those travel videos. We are at 9 o'clock. And if anybody has a specific question that I have not respond. Oh, Eric, are you still there? I wanted to, Mariette. Oh my gosh. Wait, I have to acknowledge Mariette. Mariette Moore is a professional ballet dancer in New York, and I have inspired her to have her own mini garden. That's fantastic. And please tune in next week and tell us more about that. I lived in New York for 7 years, and I didn't have a balcony or any kind of box. I was on the ninth. Well, part of the time I was on the ninth floor, and part of the time I was on the back sort of chute, and there was no light at all coming in that apartment. It was so dark. You had to have artificial light on to do anything. So I admire you for trying in New York because, ballet dancers are constantly working and known notoriously for not having the best of diets. Or that used to be the case when I lived there. Ballet dancers, I would read that they would be living on sodas and no food and and then working, pushing their bodies, their feet. I mean, you really do need a healthy diet to be a healthy performer of any kind, or any kind of person. So thank you for that donation. Um, oh my gosh. M Pretty, yes, we can choose, if we can choose where the ads go, and we cannot choose how many. We can choose if there is an ad break in a video or if there isn't. If there isn't, then we're losing money, theoretically. If people watch the ads, we make more money. That's but that's what I'm saying is there should be one ad and it shouldn't be over a minute long so that you can get right back into it. But that's how they get more, that's how they make more money. Um oh my gosh. Emily, she just said, no, I give anyone permission. I give anyone permission to stop watching an ad after 1 minute. I mean, that's just, they should not do that. Thank you, Teresa. That's what I wanted. Um, yes, we do, Felicia, but it's very little. It's very, very little what we do get. You need something like 100,000 views to make $20. It's really, really low. Eric is still here. Now, before I get off, I want to talk about, because last week I was in Tennessee and I was in that cornfield, and I deeply apologize for the quality of that live stream. I mean, I'm walking around holding a phone, and I tried to put my little gorilla pod around a corn stalk, and and Tim is like, I don't know, 6'4" or something. So he's up there and I'm down here at 5'6", and it was really hard getting us in frame. And then I put him in frame, and then I, I anyway, I apologize for the quality of that live stream, but I hope it was interesting to people, because here's this guy who's a retired teacher, still involved in the school board and in their community, grew up in that county, married a local girl from that community, and they are the dearest of friends. And they had me out, and he said, we eat Sunday night supper at 6:30. We always eat Sunday night supper at 6:30. And I go, I'll be there. And I got there. I had no idea, but that means there is a big group of people there, because their son lives nearby. He's got kids, the wife, the visiting, adopted, whatever. I mean, there's so many people there, and there's huge Southern meal. I can't even begin to tell you, between corn and tomatoes and okra and homemade fresh biscuits with molasses and butter, and homemade brownies, and chicken with mushrooms and gravy, and I uh, I know. Oh, squash, of course. Cooked winter squash, and boiled white potatoes, and on and on. I mean, my plate was like this. I get a plate and I fill it like this, and I don't go back, but I eat it all. I ate almost all of that. It was incredible. Anyway, he is trying to keep the tradition of growing heirloom corn alive in that area, and the very field that, if you look underneath that live stream, the very field that I interviewed him before in the video from 2012, which I did on the original Late Bloomer series. That field is owned by someone else, and this past year he planted it in GMO corn. Now, that field will not be usable, he said, for 3 years. And I said, well, that field is pretty close to this field. So what, and he said, if you grow and they mature at different times, and this is true of pollination too. And Eric is much more of an expert than me. I'm just reiterating a couple of things he said about the corn, is that if you grow at different times, when they ripen at different times, they're pollinating at different times, then you don't get cross pollination. Whereas if they ripen at the same time, then you get cross pollination. You don't want that. So Eric wrote me and said, hey, John, let's see. Thank you, John. Let's see. Painted Mountain. Eric is suggesting Painted Mountain cornmeal. And if you're, anywhere near Tennessee, or you can order Tim's cornmeal as well, and just try it and see if you like it better, or as well as your Painted Mountain or other varieties. Yes, RA, if you're asking about the t-shirt, everyone is still waiting, including me. These are just, they sent me 3 prototype t-shirts, which this was tweaked before the official one went. And they are going to be shipping those out this week, I think. They're printed. And Eric wrote me and was talking about, Eric, can you just kind of reiterate? I mean, he sent me a message, and he was saying that he worked, if anybody has a question about this corn, he worked for a while developing the best seed from this heirloom variety. Eric, can you just type up something real quick, and for anybody who is curious about that? Thank you, John, for sharing those links. John is sharing my Patreon link. You can become a patron of this channel if you love what I do and you can afford a few dollars every month, $5 or more. Uh, you have to pay $5 in order to be a patron. And if you love what I do, then your support is going to help me through this transition a great deal. And I need your support through this transition in my life. And I can't really talk more about that other than what I have. Because I don't know the details yet. I should know something within a month where I'm going to be. I will know something in 30 days where I'm going to be. But one thing is certain: I cannot afford to buy a piece of property in Los Angeles. And so I won't be able to, even with the sale of this house. So, um, what is that expression? Is that from Gone with the Wind? Depending on the kindness of strangers. Is that what she says? She says something about um, depending on the kindness of strangers. No, 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 no. That's Tennessee Williams. What am I saying? That's Tennessee Williams' classic play. Um, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be depending upon the kindness of strangers to find my next garden and develop that. So that is what's going on with me. But thank you, John, for sharing all those links. Thank you. They're friendly. Thank you. And where's Marilyn Monroe this morning? Marilyn, that's not her real name. She is a young actress who follows my channel, and her channel name is Marilyn Monroe. And it is Streetcar Named Desire, of course, Tennessee Williams' famous play. He is my favorite playwright. And that may happen, Mr. Tom, but not right away. Good morning, RA. Good morning, everyone. Who have we not heard from, Carolyn? I'm sure I just said that. Okay, so Eric is saying he worked 4 years on an heirloom corn. It grew really huge ears. And then what happened? Bye, faithful flowers. Have a wonderful day. Yes, I'm going to have some tea with oil of oregano when I get out of here. Daryl is pointing out that 25 of you are still searching for that thumbs up button. It's right over to the right, to the left of my face. Ooh, go to bed, Felicia. Felicia, go to bed and say hello to your mother. Okay, I'm just seeing if anybody else. Eric, did you? Carolyn is probably referring to the fact that that the properties in Los Angeles are so expensive. Let's see. Yes, Christina, it comes down to that, and you can have a conversation with Eric about that because he knows. Good morning, Kayla. We're just going to be getting off. You're going to have to watch the replay. No, we're not going to get started on that, Carolyn. But anyway, he worked 4 years. Eric, and tell us how much property you have. How much area did you have in your? He sent me a picture of his corn, and it was like 10 feet tall, beautiful. Yes, and the GMO farmer double cropped. In other words, so in other words, he thought he was safe with the one crop because his came at a different time, but they double cropped. And it just seems like double cropping on the same piece of property, that's not good. Oh my, not much. Jason just harvested 30 pounds of heirloom sweet potatoes. That's one thing that I really. I hope you're right. Inner Shift TV. What's your name? Do you have a garden? Um, let's see. I was just going to say, oh, my sweet potato story. Okay, so I was at Daryl's. Daryl's still with me, I think. Eric has 7 acres, but how much did you have in that corn that got cross pollinated? Um, I was at Daryl's and he showed me his sweet potato slips. I had never done that. You're just growing these shoots off of a sweet potato. I grew all of these sweet potatoes. In fact, I still have about 8 of them. I planted in little cups for my plant sale. Nobody bought any. I said, "Hey, plant it today, and you can have sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving." But I think I sold one, and so you know, because it would have required potting up and da 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 da, and I guess people just didn't want to bother. But I thought for sure I was going to get my own potted up. I even ordered these really fancy schmancy potato bags that you 7-gallon potato bags that have a little window and you roll down and so you can roll down and see your potatoes developing and all that. And I have yet to do that. Um, I may be able to do it before I go and then take that over or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it would be like to plant. See now, Daryl plants them in the when was I there? April or May? April, I think. Daryl plants his slips in May, and then he's harvesting them in October, November, something like that, right, Daryl? And so I'm thinking if I do that now, this is a temperate climate. Maybe it's okay to just go ahead and plant those now. I don't know. Um, but anyway, I just put 2 more. I still have that original sweet potato that's still putting up shoots. It's just amazing. So I cut 2 yesterday and put in a cup of water in the kitchen window. And plus I have these too. So I'm hoping to get that done. Ah, let's see. Wow. Who did that, Eric? Who created painted mountain corn? Okay, Carolyn's going. Take care. Travis Ward, I don't think I actually said hello, but have a great day and thanks for being part of my late bloomer community. Oh, that's good. Trudy, how many slips did you put? Because Daryl was telling me the best way to do that. And he was saying just put 1 or 2 in a 7-gallon pot. But how many slips did you put in a huge pot? And I'm assuming you mean by huge, you mean like at least a 21-inch pot. An acre. Wow. An acre of corn. Oh, I would be in heaven. But now this is corn for meal, right, Eric? That was not sweet corn. Or can you, I was very surprised to learn from Tim that you can eat either one of those varieties that he's growing in the milk stage. It's just, it's just like, getting the a watermelon at the right stage. It's so easy to see when tomatoes are ready, but it's not so easy to see when a watermelon is perfect or when corn is perfect. And I miss that window. Um, let's see. 7. Okay. Hits 1001. Good morning from India, or good afternoon, good evening. And please go back and watch the replay because I talked about India earlier. India, a lot of people watch me in India, and I'm very, very excited about that. Jim, thank you for joining. I really appreciate that. John, I'm glad that about your tomatoes. He's in Colorado, so if your tomatoes are going gangbusters in September, that's really good. And Teresa is in trying to remember where everybody is so hard for me. He's in Indiana. Eric is in Indiana. I think that's what I said, Daryl. Okay. Let's see, Jason. Mm. Mm. No kidding. Well, Eric, would you say that this painted mountain corn is more appropriate for a more northern climate? Of course, it gets hot in Montana in the summer, so I don't know. Ooh, black mold. Mr. Tom had said his tomatoes all died from black mold. That sounds just heartbreaking. Mr. Tom, weren't you the one that was telling me about using hydrogen peroxide uh, to fight mildew, or well, to fight fungal disease on tomatoes? I'm thinking that you were the one that told me about that. I forget now. Oh, 36 inches across. That is, oh yeah, you're gonna give them plenty of space. Oh well, John, you know how to control that. You just cut back on your watering or add some calcium. It'll correct. Yes, please watch and tell all your friends. Hits. What is your name actually? Hits 1001. Um, you're welcome, Gina. I mentioned you earlier, and I'm 20 minutes over. I'm just going to do a couple more minutes. I just want to catch up on the. Teresa, do you have seeds? If you don't have seeds, my seeds are still viable. They're from 2016, but obviously they're still viable. I've got 15 big loofah growing on 5 plants. Yeah, 5 vines. You can send me make a $5 donation to my channel and through PayPal, and I will send you seeds. Let's see. Wow. Wow. I can't even imagine having the that is a problem I would love to have, Jason, to have to pull tomatoes to make room for fall plants. It's Tucson. Right. Oh, there, it's going to do very well there. You know that. Yeah, Venetius, yeah, Sweden. If you have a big greenhouse, you might, but I have a feeling you planted it in the ground and it's going to probably not, your season's going to be too short. But hey, it was worth trying, right? I did that last year with, I got a few ears of that black corn. Oh, that's good. No, I'm not, John. I can't do any more traveling with all that's going on here. So that was my last trip. As long as my mother stays well, knock on wood. See any wood around here? Then I will be staying put here till at least Thanksgiving. Well, that's a very good point, Daryl. You don't have to be so worried about the sweet potato root because the sweet potato leaves are more nutritious than the root. But you got to have a lot of slips growing in your windowsill to have enough sweet potato leaves, especially if you're cooking them. They cook down to nothing, even if just for a minute. But if you're eating them fresh, yeah, that's different. Oh, I love you too, Kevin. People, I was just trying to catch up on comments before I signed off. Um, Great, Teresa. Try to do that the sooner rather than later, because once I start packing up, who knows where anything will be. Oh, that's fantastic, Christina. Christina is a teacher, and I just want to end this by giving a shout out to all teachers and educators all over, because even if you're just helping to educate people on YouTube or helping to educate, share knowledge with your neighbor, I mean, you're creating community, and that's what this gardening community is all about. So, with that, I think I'll just end and wish everyone a happy day and a wonderful week. And thank you so much for watching. You can find ways to support the channel in the description below. All of my links are there. And I really appreciate you for tuning in on this gorgeous day in LA. And I'm happy to share it with all of you. So I love you guys and take care.